Hello everyone, my name is Felipe Silva and I'll be talking about the medical packaging case study. So the goal is to increase the packaging agility within the packaging value chain. For this purpose, I've considered some critical metrics, which are to maintain an efficient and safe packaging system and to reduce or maintain manufacturing packaging expenses. I'm also considering the company to be located within the greater Los Angeles area. With regards to critical knowledge management, I believe that understanding the medical device intended use is one of the critical factors for agility. For instance, knowing the classification of a medical device, if such is a class 1, a class 2A, a class 2B, or a class 3, plays a vital role on what type of packaging this medical device will be utilizing. Another important feature is an early stage packaging design process. So having the final medical device or even a prototype in the hands of the packaging firm as soon as possible is another vital step towards agility. Continuous packaging development. This can be seen as a model or even as a mindset to be adopted by the medical packaging firm. Let's say, for instance, a medical device company has a 510K approved, but for some specific reason wants to make modifications on the dimensions, weight, or the type of material of that specific medical device. It is necessary for the medical packaging firm to also have that same mindset of always continuously be developing their packaging to fulfill the requirements of the medical device. So this is a key aspect. Regulatory transparency is also very important, and we'll be talking a little bit about this on further slides. Define parameters and testing methods, which should always be constant and not be changing, and a tacit knowledge communication through field specialists across the packaging value chain. So with regards to shared value creation, I believe that customer and supplier mutual innovation is the key factor here. For instance, raw material suppliers, which primarily are polymer manufacturers, should embrace a continuous R&D mindset and always be looking for alternative raw materials. For instance, continuous development of new material selection for packaging is something to consider. I've listed here a couple of differentiations of materials that are utilized within some of medical packagings. For instance, HDPE used on pouch, polyvinyl chloride on trays, or polypropylene. Another aspect with regards to agility is, as we mentioned before, is that customers need to understand the medical device manufacturers. And to really emphasize on this, the packaging firms should consider strategic contracts with such customers. So for instance, let's say a medical device company could possibly provide a 3D printer or a prototype printer to have within the medical packaging facility. So any changes that would occur in the medical device would be relayed instantly to the packaging firm as well. And obviously, corporate social responsibility from the medical packaging firm has to always be continuously evolving. With regards to leadership, an ownership mentality is the key. All employees within this medical packaging firm should consider themselves as leaders and as responsible for innovation in future packaging. With regards to reward significance and relationship, I've addressed a couple of key points here that I think it's very important. I think there should be some type of interdependence between the customers and suppliers, and the adoption of a circularity is also key for this medical packaging firm. To really focus on the expansion of a closed loop system. With regards to this reward to significance in the relationship, perhaps a reward based system, um, which would be the same for all employees in this firm, would be something to consider. Let's say, for example, a the production department makes an improvement on one of the manufacturing practices that reduces the cycle time of the package output. That is something that should not only be considered to that exclusive department, but is a value added across the whole packaging value chain. Having a proactive approach is another significant reward factor that should be considered to increase agility. And these two last bullet points, I think, are very critical for reward significance in relationships. So basically, having recurring communication task forces, either monthly or every 2 months, with regulatory agencies, let's say with the FDA, with MDD, with Health Canada, with audit agencies like MDSAP, and always having information of new regulations and changes that are coming in the pipeline is critical for agility in this medical packaging firm. The same would be for these recurring communications with ISO and ASTM. Always knowing of performance and validation modifications that could play into this medical packaging firm with regards, let's say, to integrity testing, strength, microbial, and so on. With regards to value chain cluster, as I mentioned previously, this company I'm considering to be located in Southern California. So I really think that it has to initially capitalize on existing clusters that are already within this area. For instance, the California Life Science Association and the HPRC, the Healthcare Plastics Recycling Council. Southern California, primarily Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego area, is very well known for bioscience and the medical field. So there are numerous opportunities for clusters among research institutions and with other companies as well. Another very important topic that I wanted to bring up as a value chain cluster expansion is this circularity for healthcare packaging. A company, Kaiser Permanente, which is a healthcare provider company here, primarily in California, they already have a cluster that is called environmentally preferable purchasing principle, which basically is a circularity approach that they're doing to using post-consumer resins in non-sterile secondary and tertiary packaging applicable to healthcare packaging. So if this hypothetical company, O Medical Packaging, would embrace or form a cluster with a company such as Kaiser or other companies that would envision this type of circularity approach for healthcare packaging, that really focus on this life cycle mindset to packaging waste management, this would be a huge increase in the agility for this company. And the last two bullet points here that I'm mentioning, as we talked about a little bit already, is forming partnership with research institutions that are very that are within the area, and also utilizing biosciences experience, previous bioscience experience within the packaging value chain. So a summary here to really embrace this agility in the packaging agility in the current scenario that this company is facing, is to really adopt the following: strategic, innovative solutions, share knowledge through across the packaging value chain. This will ultimately lead to faster packaging approvals. Adopting a continuous packaging development mindset. This will evolve to customer and regulatory needs being met. Expansion of this closed loop system to ultimately save money and really have this regulatory, customer, and supplier transparency across the board.